Am I Wrighster or am I wrong? This NFL Sunday was the best Sunday that we've had in months. And because of that, there was more bad news for the get woke, go broke crowd. These college football, these upsets are exactly what I need in life right now. Lonzo Ball is moving over to Klutch Sports, proving that he's all grown up, and it's going to be a lesson in parenting and decision making. Joe Rogan may be moderating the presidential debates. And that is the absolute last thing America needs right now. Despite how good Joe Rogan is, the last thing we need right now. And history was made yesterday. 10 black quarterbacks started NFL games. And why does this matter? Why does race matter in this? I will tell you. And of course, my parting shot. We will start today with the NFL. It was the absolute best Sunday that we've had in months. Life is better. It was like a sense of normalcy. I will tell you, I woke up, I was like, wow, it's Sunday. Feels good, right? We can play a little bit of football. And 2020 has provided disappointment. It's provided inconvenience, untimely and unexpected deaths, plenty of fake news, conspiracy theories, fake outrage, all of that. And a little bit of normalcy, like a way to escape for a while, that it was something that I didn't even have to be concerned about. I didn't have to be concerned about college players versus pro players, no unions, testing, players being taken advantage of. Like these things were collectively bargained. None of the games were canceled. Like we knew what to expect already coming in. I got a chance to be mad about my fantasy team like I imagine a bunch of you did. I got to obsess about my daily fantasy roster, how much money I'm winning or losing. It was an opportunity for that. And clearly, I was not the only person who felt that way. Because Bucks and Saints, that game was the highest rated week 1 game on Fox in 4 years. And the biggest audience in American television since the Super Bowl. Up 10% from last year. So you know the get woke, go broke crowd is very upset about that. Oh, well, the Dallas game was down a lot. The Sunday night game. That game was boring and uninteresting. Yes, it was featuring the Dallas Cowboys, but there's a little something more to that as well. The NFL is also still killing it right now, while they're also dominating the ratings still, because people will try to talk about Thursday. I'm going to get into that in a second. They are still killing it. They're negotiating the biggest TV deals with every major network right now. So the revenues have gone up every year in the NFL for at least 20 years. This year, even in a pandemic, they still may find a way to go up, which is absolutely incredible. So to get woke, go broke crowd, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. But it is what it is. You can't stop this train. And truthfully, you're not even really influencing it because you're still watching. You're still watching. You're pretending like you don't want to watch, but you're watching. Everybody knows the ratings say so. On to Thursday. I talked about it a little bit on the last podcast. But in Kansas City, the Kansas City-Houston game, a 71 share. That means 71% of all televisions that were on in that market were tuned to that game. In Houston, there are 39% of the televisions that were on were tuned to that game. You had Denver, 36%. Texas, in Austin, Texas, 34%. Indianapolis, 32% of all televisions to that. I mean, come on, man. And then the NFL game on Thursday as well, we're finding out more information, drew a 6.7 rating in adults 18 to 49 during NBA playoff games. Come on, man. And that's the NBA's target demo right there. All right. So to get woke, go broke crowd, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but you don't get to celebrate this. you are going to lose this one because the NFL is not going anywhere. It's not going to tank. Neither are professional sports. Because on one hand, the sports media people, they'll tell you, get woke, go broke. But then at the same time, they will simultaneously tell you to buy DraftKings and FanDuel stock because sports aren't going anywhere. Yeah, how does that work? They're not going anywhere because get woke, go broke is a lie. On to college football, and enough with those people. The upsets that we had this weekend were everything that I needed. There were 5 games postponed this weekend. I was sad about that, but and I am praying for these young men because like I said before, it is a completely different situation than it is with the pro players. Completely different situation. They are tested in the NFL more. They have money to quarantine themselves. They're not just young kids. These are mature people with families. Well, more mature people with families. And they can be fined. There is a level of professionalism that is expected and also required and enforced that you can't do in college. And college kids are often taken advantage of. They are. They're taken advantage of with the money that they're not allowed to make. They're not allowed to trade on their name, image, and likeness. All of that. So I don't have to worry about that. But these upsets, though, I could not have been happier about that. It was exactly what I need with college football. So you had Louisiana over Iowa State, Arkansas State over K-State, Georgia Tech over Florida State, Coastal Carolina over Kansas, and Houston Baptist almost beating Texas Tech would have been the icing on the proverbial cake. But this weekend, I need Tulsa to beat Oklahoma State, Houston to beat Baylor, South Florida to beat Notre Dame. Isn't that what we want out in the world? A little bit of chaos in college football. We don't always get it. But this could be the season for the chaos that we want. At least let it be entertaining in that way. Because I'm a person who I root for one or two things, like in general. I either root for total domination, like Warriors, 73-9. I want them to go on and win a championship. I mean, just steamroll everybody, just so we can see something historically great. Or I want to see a catastrophic failure. Like I want to see the team lose a 3-1 lead like the Clippers may do to the Denver Nuggets right now. I want to see it because I want to see the fallout. I want to see the press conferences. I want to see I like that. You can say I like to watch the world burn or whatever you want, but that's the kind of thing. Like I want to see somebody just trounced. Like when Alabama played against Clemson in the national championship 2 years ago, and Clemson just beat them up. Worst loss in Alabama history. Yeah, that was better to me than just a close game that ended great. I don't know why. I love that sort of thing. Now on to Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball is all grown up. So he was at CAA, which was his agent at first, and then he moved over to Klutch Sports. He was with the family Big Baller brand. Now he's getting a new shoe contract. His brother has signed, I think, with Puma, the one that's coming in the draft now. And I think that this is a lesson in parenting. Because as a dad, right? Because we know how overbearing that his father, LeVar Ball, had been, how integrated into his life he had been. But then when Lonzo got traded to New Orleans and LeVar was over in Australia and everywhere else with his brother, that gave Lonzo a chance to have his independence and grow. And the reason why this is important is that as a dad, I teach my kids, like instead of helicopter parenting them and trying to tell them what to do and what not to do, ultimately, yes, that's a part of it, telling them what to and what not to do. But ultimately, what I want for my kids more than anything else is for them to be good decision makers. Because I can't tell them what to do and what not to do in every single situation. So if I teach them to make good choices, how to make good choices, how to weigh information, how to come up with a reasonable solution and to talk to people who are knowledgeable in situations, how to filter that information, what you should take, what you shouldn't take, what sort of chances should you take out in life. And I thought that was like very telling with Lonzo, because he knew that Big Baller Brand wasn't the move. He knew what he wanted to do, but he was listening to his dad. And now he's saying, okay, my dad is clearly a strong man out in the world. And I want to be like that. Granted, not necessarily exactly like his dad, but his dad is a strong, opinionated, doesn't worry about what everybody else is saying about him, an independent thinker and all of that. So, Lonzo wanted to be that. But he couldn't be that up underneath his dad's thumb. So I think that this is a lesson in parenting, because Lonzo is making his own decisions, and moving to Klutch Sports, probably a great decision, because right now they appear to be the truth, the way, and the light for NBA players. Not in a godly fashion, but like they are focused on their branding off the court, and they have a lot of leverage because LeBron James and Rich Paul are but behind them. So that is a notable thing. And you see Lonzo taking control of his life, making these things, and he appears to be making good decisions, and I like it. So as much as we want to criticize, or people have criticized LeVar Ball, the fact that his sons are now saying, wait, hold up, I'm going to take advantage of my own self, my own independence. Well, his two sons. Because LaLangelo got in trouble when he was at UCLA, I think is a pretty good thing on them, and can teach us a lesson in parenting. Get the thumb off a little bit and focus more on the decision making than telling them what to and what not to do. On to what else we should not do. Joe Rogan. I wake up this morning and I'm like, why the hell is Joe Rogan trending? Oh, who do you have an interview with? It's because the president retweeted a tweet saying that Joe Rogan should moderate the presidential debate between Trump and Biden. And I think that this would be ridiculous and bad for Joe Rogan's brand. I mean, what is the difference, truly? What is the difference because Joe Rogan's clearly immensely talented, immensely popular, everything from the UFC to his podcast, 100 million. You can't knock what the dude is doing. But how is it different than letting Howard Stern moderate the debate? How it would absolutely turn into a clown show, because neither one of those dudes is qualified or can fact check enough to do a good job in a debate. Because moderating a debate is not just reading questions off a script. You have to see what comes from both ways, and you have to know what is up. That's why people like Chris Wallace, Steve Scully, these are the people who should be moderating debates. And I do, as crazy as this is, right? How would Joe Rogan fact check? How? Like, he hasn't been doing this. Like, the people who are doing it have been covering presidential campaigns, the last 10 presidential campaigns and 6 White House administrations. And regardless of whether you vote for Trump, believe in Trump, don't believe in Biden, whatever it is, you have to know that Joe Rogan it wouldn't even be moderating, it would be hosting. The presidential debate would turn into a reality show. It would be very entertaining. We would be talking about it for years. But is that really what the country needs at this point in time? Because at some point in time, Joe Rogan is going to be like, oh yeah, hey, let's talk about overhauling healthcare and immigration and drug enforcement. And then the conversation is going to devolve in 2 hours into UFO talk. And then he's going to be like, hey, yo, Jamie, where's the clip of the bear fighting the mouse? Come on, man. I like Joe Rogan. I respect what he does. So this is not a shot at him. But this presidential debate is going to be a heavyweight title fight. And you need an experienced ref. You need somebody who knows what they're doing. You can't just put it out to chance to reality television. that would be an awful choice. And for Joe Rogan, if he fact checks too hard, one part of his audience is going to be mad. If he does a perfect job of what a moderator is supposed to do, half his audience is going to be pissed off. So listen, bad move for Joe. Hope he wouldn't do it anyway. Now back to the NFL for a second. Yesterday, history was made. 10 black quarterbacks started in the NFL. Why does this matter? Why does race even factor into this? It's because for so long, older general managers, coaches, and fans would question black quarterbacks' ability to lead, ability to pass the football, and thought that they should use their athleticism at another position. I mean, this is as recently as Lamar Jackson, last year's league MVP, who showed out again on Sunday. People say, oh, he should move to wide receiver. He can't play quarterback. Even Bill Polian, former Colts GM. I mean, come on, man. Like, this is a significant event. You have Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson, who are the three best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Deshaun Watson, Kyler Murray, Cam Newton, Dak Prescott, Tyrod Taylor, Teddy Bridgewater, and Dwayne Haskins all started yesterday. And they come on the heels of people like Shaq Harris, who was our director of player personnel in Jacksonville. Came in the league in 1969. Was drafted. He was the first black quarterback to start a season opener, start a playoff game and win, get voted to the Pro Bowl, and win Pro Bowl MVP. You go on to 1978. Warren Moon, Pro Football Hall of Famer, goes undrafted. Has to go to Canada because they don't want black quarterbacks. 1984, he goes to the Oilers, plays a long time. You got Doug Williams, Randall Cunningham, even on past Michael Vick. But Michael Vick was such a superb talent that you could not draft him. But there was so long that coaches did not believe that black quarterbacks possessed the leadership needed or they could look quarterback-like, do things that quarterbacks do. But that's dog whistle language for act like a white guy. Do what the white guys do. Because that's what the position was exclusively. 70% of the NFL is black. That doesn't mean that 70% of the quarterbacks should be black. Even 10% of the quarterbacks, 90, whatever. There should not be a quota. But the best man should always win because it is a meritocracy. Granted, money plays a factor in pro sports, but it's a meritocracy. Or at least it's supposed to be. And so to see the progress that the league has made, that these men have made at the position, and how minds and hearts are clearly changing, or at least owners, coaches, because the coaching is skewed a lot younger, which I talked about on the last podcast. I love it. And it was very notable. And for me, it matters because my position got changed in high school. Not because I didn't have the talent to play quarterback, not because I didn't have the arm, because I did. It was because my high school coach, who I really like, said that he didn't want his best athlete at quarterback because he didn't know, truthfully, how to use a player with that type of special ability. He didn't know how to do it. He was like, this is the way we play football. This is what I know. So that's what he went with. But now you see players and coaches realizing, oh, wait, we can do way more. There's better options with mobile quarterbacks. I mean, even the white guys have to be mobile. Look at Aaron Rodgers. He can move. Look at Wentz. He can move a little bit. The best quarterbacks, aside from Breeze and Brady, who are statues, but they are going out of style. If you cannot move, it has changed the position, and I love it, and I thought that was extremely notable. And I am very happy with what is going on. Last thing up, my parting shot. I know this is a little bit off the path from what I normally do for my parting shot, but I woke up this morning as well, and there was a debate about Miracle Whip versus mayo. I grew up in a house where we exclusively used Miracle Whip. That's the way I grew up at home. But as I've gotten older, figured out my own way, like Lonzo Ball, figured out that my parents led me astray with that. Miracle Whip is trash because I'm a person who likes to eat real things. I don't eat honey sauce like from KFC when they say the honey sauce. I don't eat syrup sauce. If honey didn't come straight out the comb, if the syrup didn't come out the tree, don't give me no damn Miss Buttersworth. Give me pure maple syrup. I have people say, "Oh, George, you may be cutting off your advertising." I don't want them anyway because that's not what I eat. That's not what I do. I like real things. I got a garden in the back. I have a hydroponic garden. I grow my own stuff. This is what I like to eat. And mayo, albeit very fattening, it is real. Made with real ingredients. Give me some Hellmann's. Give me some organic mayo. Just give me real stuff. So mayo's awesome. Miracle Whip sucks. Am I Wrighster or am I wrong? Peace out. Catch you guys on Wednesday. Share with a friend.